projecting like all day, almost like a broadcast. And so we're projecting our needs and expectations on others that they haven't been sent the same script. They have their own script. The parts that are highlighted in your script, they just jump over. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like, this isn't like a starring role for you. It's more like an epic. There's tons of us. We all think we're the lead actor and actress, and so it gets to be.
Like that saying, I'm not much, but
I know, but you've done your best, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't, in a way, the way you would like them to want your best, that's the way it goes.
My best just isn't good enough.
No, that's not true. It's more than good enough.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit that situation.
No, that's the way it is.
Annie, did you put the 2 eggs over there?
Yeah, I did. I'm growing. I'm growing something.
Oh yeah, is that the wicked?
Yeah.
My eggplant. Yeah. That's my idea of eggplant.
I hung around a lot.
But it was good that she noticed it. Does anyone see the eggs? No.
Yes.
They want to see the truth, but they can't see 2 eggs. It always gets you. We think we have the satellite dish to pick up message, but we don't see shit.
I was just searching, That was my entry level.
You can see it, it's fine, Mike, right?
Here comes the new. The awakened ones always arrive late. You notice that? Yes. I did it today.
I'm going to have to remember that.
One sign. One sign. They're not punctual. Well, what the hell? Is there something better to do? So, you can see this retreat schedule is just completely eroding. I didn't even think it would get this far. I thought it would just drive off the road and just abandon the schedule. Do you want to put this on? Is it on? Oh, it's on. The whole time?
I would have allowed that.
Oh, yeah.
Having their own scripts.
Yes, the projection. That's like fundamental 101, yeah? So if you bring it to a larger scale, it's sort of an expression of that thing in the Course in Miracles. Yeah, the mind projects, yes, the dreaming, and then the dreamt perceives. Yeah, so a lot of us, we're projecting the interior going on to the exterior on someone else. So what we're thinking of doing to someone, we're afraid that they're going to do it to us. You know what I mean? It's just we very rarely see the first part of it. We're always on the lookout, but the thief is already in the house. Wait a minute, I'm not going to get hurt by anyone. I mean, really, it's funny. You have these talks, and sometimes it can get pretty out there, and everyone feels like they have the ability to understand, but they can't. They don't. They can't grok when the schedules change. You know what I mean? When they say, well, the meeting's going to be next week at a different location, the whole thing collapses. Even though they're speaking about Freud, and, yeah, the event horizon, and then you say, well, it's going to be at Sunset Boulevard. Wait, what? I mean, you really have to put it very clearly on the website. Like, you got to put AM or PM, very clearly. There's been a slight change. Everything is lost. So, I mean, this is just a fundamental. What would that do if you heard, all right, so the mind projects, the mind's dreaming, and then we're here to perceive, yeah? So we're perceiving the dreaming as this, seemingly, but we are the dreaming. And you hear that, and it's not sterilized and put into a case. It becomes available when you're living. And so it proves itself by observation, doesn't it? That's what happens when you hear a message or something. The message may sound a little bit esoteric or out there, but then you notice the pattern that was talked about and experiences you're going through or observations or things going on that fit that expression. And you see, wow, just like I remember when I got introduced to the Course in Miracles, lesson 2, it was about the thing that nothing in this room has any meaning. You give everything all the meaning it has. So I would do that. And they didn't say, okay, get into a very strict yoga posture and get ready. No, it was supposed to do it very relaxed and shit and look around the room and just have this idea when you were looking at things that you have given this thing all the meaning it has. Yeah, just a new suggestion. Same activity that you would do, but something, an understanding was injected into it. And that little understanding brought about a whole new way of seeing it. Yeah, this is what happens. This is what non-duality does. It presents a very extremely different understanding that we're used to. It's like a whole different species, yeah? Because it's premised on the fact that what you're looking for is what's looking right now, being ourselves reality, yes? Most processes or practices do not start there. They do not start with the assumption you're it, yeah? They say you were it maybe, but you fucked up, or you're gonna be it if you follow this thing. Yeah, it's always put into time, usually, yes? And therefore time, for something that isn't so to be so, it's going to take time. And it's going to take effort and thought and work for this to change, to fit that, yeah? But don't worry that isn't this right now, yeah? So don't worry, you're not really going to be threatened because it's safely entrenched that the selfing loves to sign up for a becoming. Yeah, it will. It will. If you present it as you can become something other than self, it will sign up. When it's confronted with the fact that there is no self, let's say, it's not that keen on that. Usually, yeah? It isn't. It may look like it, but they drop off because it's sort of dry. Yeah, because it's looking, it wants to be in there. It just does. So sign up. I'm into the process of becoming my true self. I am. I'm completely in that process. But if you tell me I am that already, what? What the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna garner meaning? Because I garner meaning by doing shit and having people see it or something. Yeah? In other words, I have something sitting inside of me that's built on meritocracy in a way. I have to earn having a good day. I have to go over, do I actually deserve having a good day? And it's a very, it changes the rules all the time. Yeah, it says, okay, if you do this and this and this, I'll give you a 20-minute break. Maybe, okay? So you do this, I've just meditated, I didn't have that dessert I wanted, I'm sitting here, and okay, I feel that I'm feeling clear. There's nothing disturbing it except that shit that's going on. There's nothing disturbing it, and then you get a drop of peace. Oh, like a little beggar remember that old story about the beggar in front of the gate of the big city, and he's been begging there for 20 years, yes? And everyone goes by and he asks him for something, and everyone sometimes gives him something and it reinforces that he doesn't have anything. And then one person says, fucking put your hand in your pocket. He puts it in there and there's a giant chunk of gold. Yeah, So all the other people that were trying to be of help were actually reinforcing he was a beggar. Yeah. So this one person just said, "Hey, just put your hand in your pocket." He didn't do it there. He waited till he left his begging day, and when he went to his shack, he found the gold. Yes. Now what happened? He went back and begged again. His head didn't want to find the gold. Just like my mom, she had this dream of going to Hawaii, and it was a nagging point. I had checked out, so my sisters and brothers had to take care of it because I was out. She didn't expect anything from me. But she'd say, "I want to go to Hawaii," and they'd never buy her a ticket. And so then she'd complain about it. So then one year they bought her a ticket. Did she go to Hawaii? No. She didn't want to go to Hawaii. She wanted to complain about wanting to go to Hawaii. She did not want to go to Hawaii. When push came to shove, she did not go. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of talk, but sometimes you see the talk has no intention of taking you where it's talking about. It doesn't. It doesn't. If it's put on the dime, it doesn't show up. Yeah. I've had people come and their belief that an awakening has to do with some energetic thing. So that's what they're hoping for. And then the one day, that lady at the where we used to play ping pong at that Mexican place.
Oh, yeah.
That lady Mary, I think, from the Course in Miracles, she had the big fucking breakdown.
Yeah.
And then it looked like she wanted to parachute out. She's been dreaming this for years. It starts coming out. She wants out immediately. I said, "Hey, you asked for it. You asked for this. Fucking now ride the horse." She's like, "I want to ride a horse." And then when no, I don't want to ride the horse. Put this thing to, it's not bringing you anywhere. It just has you running around in circles. It does. It has no intention of letting peace abide. It doesn't. It's agitated. That's its nature. Its nature was, I was once at great peace, and then something, usually other people, have caused me to be agitated. And if all that would just chill out, I'd be at, no, it's never been at peace. It's agitated. It's an activity. There's no thing called mind. It's activity. Yeah? And activity begets activity. It can't stop. Haven't you noticed it? Yeah. Haven't you noticed you'll sit for 4 hours in meditation? As soon as you get even close to peace, it thinks, "I got to do the laundry. It's time to get up. You've been waiting for 4 hours for this. As soon as you're I got to do something." Yeah, it's insane. Try it. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's a giant charade. Yeah, it's like has a face it wants to save, but its ass doesn't want to go anywhere. Really, it doesn't. I'm not saying specifically there may be options, but generally, that which is your biggest cheerleader is rooting for the wrong team. Really, yeah. So when you lose interest in it all. I really emphasize the losing interest. And it's very clear you can't lose interest as that. You can lose interest in that, but you can't lose interest as the mental activity. That's just more interest. You got to be very clear about this. This isn't a new message. This is an observation that's been written about thousands of years probably, in Zen and everywhere else. So when you, as what you're not, sets out to lose interest in you as what you're not, that's interest in you as what you're not. You can't, it's like the way you're built, it's a perfect handcuff. You can't get out. The more you try to get out, the more it locks. It's just, if you have an arm and a hand, it works. So basically, we're formatted in a certain way that this lock works. So one of the biggest dilemmas is you're using what you are to look for what you are. Yeah? That's said, not to be taken as gospel, but as it'll be introduced to your observational events. You'll start seeing what you've heard. Yeah? You'll start seeing it's almost like a highlighter. So the shit that you would just read through, suddenly some of it is highlighted. And then the highlighted has a little arrow, and it's what you heard in satsang. And now you're starting to recognize, yeah? Because what you can understand is what you're not. You can understand it. You can. You can realize that it's mechanical. It has no volition or choice to it. You are not behind it all as an action figure. The idea of self is not selfing. There's selfing that implies a self. There is no self that's selfing, and that should stop selfing. There's just selfing, yeah? Selfing, going on and on and on. Either if selfing is seen in a certain way or taken in, it gets extended, yeah? And then a new chapter, which has to be based on forgetting what you are, continues. Just like it says in the Course in Miracles, yeah? You're firm in faith in this something else that you've made to be yourself. Being firm in faith in that is the active denial of what you are. Now, if you had stopped anyone right now and said, are you in the active denial of what you are? No. But they are in the firm in faith in the something else that has been made to be themselves. You haven't made it. I don't like that in the Course because it sounds like you did it. I don't believe that's true. I believe the head's done it, is doing it, yeah? The head presents this something else, and it says it's you. So it makes itself to be you. And then basically you give up the truest, greatest value, sight, awareness. You basically give it the job to tell you what's going on. Don't you? A lot of people are in a day, they don't know what's going on. They wait till they get home, and then the head tells them they had a terrible day. And then they believe it, and they act as if that was so, and they call up some people, and I had a terrible day too. They were out to lunch completely. You would think if you were having a terrible day, you would know it, wouldn't you? I mean, if it was terrible, I would probably know it, at least in the 5-minute radius. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to wait 8 hours to get the report you had a terrible day. What would that imply? I'm out to lunch completely. And that means something's stealing your lunch. Yeah. So now you get enslaved to that which you've made to be yourself, because that is I do not believe that. I do not believe there's a you in there that made this something else. I think the mental activity made this something else and has convinced in a certain way you, yeah, to take this guidance, to give up the responsibility of being awake, really, because from the head it may seem to be too much. But there's something that has been, something has just been given up. And all right, tell me what's going on. What am I like? What is she like? What's the relationship like? All this and all that. It's all broadcasting from fucking. The thing is it's like a blind, lookout. It just sees the past, looking out, and it lives in a world of projection. All that it fears is being entertained here. It's not from the outside, yeah? We give something name and form, and then it suddenly appears in our life, yeah? If you don't give so much shit name and form, a lot of shit won't appear. It'll just go like a stream. But as soon as you go, look at that stream, that rock, it becomes a rock, let's say. I've watched it. I've watched people who look totally okay, and they get a diagnosis. They look like shit, but they looked great 10 minutes before they heard something, and then the meaning of that something was taken in like a sponge. I have something, yeah. And then there's like a pantomiming of what it would be like to have this something. I think a lot of people are super ill and they don't know it, and it dissipates. I do. I think tons of possibilities come through us all day. Yeah, if you're keeping count and giving name to everything that shows up, a lot of the shit stops. The traffic just pulls to a stop, and then because we're reality. A lot of shit is best left unsaid. Just let it flow. Yeah, See the wholeness of the rivering, not the little glistening sparkles that are going on. Just enjoy the whole movement because you're in it. You're not sitting on the riverbank. Yeah? You're drenched in that water of activity. So this message to me was, I was just pointed the wrong way, so to speak. Yes? I was looking from what I am with the hopes of getting to what I am. Yes? That's fundamental. That's not like a minor little, oh, we can affect that, change that in a weekend. No, that's a major departure. So the correction is before the problem. From before the problem, nothing is seen as a problem, really. It's only when the problem gets some traction, then there's lots of problems. Yes? But before it, the real relief is before the bondage, not something you get after the bondage. The bondage is really to inform you that there's inherent relief. That's what I believe non-duality gives you. It reads and details and uncovers the bondage, yes, to tell you that there isn't any. That's the beauty. It's like when you're in the problem, you need a solution, but if you meet this solution, there is no problem. That's awesome to me. And I'll tell you, you're entertaining all the shit that's going on. If you start entertaining shit that has real weight and is true, it's going to have an effect. Yeah? It can change the weight of your life. It can allow things to be lighter. Again, yeah? Because you are the Alpha and the Omega, not as this, but as what's before. Yeah? If you are giving everything all the meaning it has, then the distribution of weight comes from us. The weight isn't being brought to us. It comes to us. You can see it. When I got run over, I was in the orthopedic, I think, wing of a hospital. And there was a lot of guys, mostly guys there from motorcycle accidents with severe leg damage like I had. And so there was like 15 of us in there. Some of us came in a week before, a week after, but it was close, yeah? And you could see the reactions to the same level of damage were quite different. Some people that were drinkers stopped drinking. Some people that didn't drink started drinking, yeah? So the response to basically the same event was completely different. This is a subjective experience, obviously. You're giving everything all the meaning it has. That means you're the reality in this picture. If the recognition or the acknowledgement of the course was going another way, it would say, you're a rock in this incredibly massive thing, which you have absolutely no meaning, and everything that comes by you and through you is going to make a stamp on you. No, it says you are giving everything all the meaning it has. Does that give any room to anything else giving everything all the meaning it has? Do you think there's thousands of yous doing the exact same thing, giving everything all the meaning it has? It's not the specific personal you, it's the you that's giving everything all the meaning it has. There's no room for, but there's a few others giving. No, this is the projector, yes? This is the undifferentiated light differentiating in appearance, yeah? It all comes from this, yeah? It's not in Nebraska unless you are. Really, it's not in Omaha unless you're in Omaha. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? So what's the cog? What's the difference between when you were a kid? Oh, it's dead. We'll take a minute pause for technical difficulties.
So, you see how much it had left?
20%.
Oh, that'd be good. When it dies, the talk will talk. Yeah. That's good. Eh? Yeah. We'll get right to the point. Where was I? Oh, in Nebraska. No, I'm in Italy. Yes. So this idea, when you were a kid, I wasn't in a violent situation. Yeah. There wasn't acrimony, hatred in my family. So basically, it was clear life was happening. Yeah. I wasn't in fear or shit, just running around. And then you could see when it started to change. Yeah. When I was out there, when I was a kid, I'd be running into rooms, doing shit, doing that. And then one day I ran into a room and there was thought about it. Yeah. I ran into the room and I thought about it. I didn't think about it. The system thought about it. And then from that point on, everything I ever did was accompanied by thought. Either after I did seemingly something, yes, or right a second after it, or maybe a little before it. But my life became accompanied with thought. Yeah. And then something started to happen. That childhood was being lost in a sense, and irritability, restlessness, and discontent, which is the nature of the mental condition, became my condition, so to speak. Yeah, I didn't know any better. No one was telling me anything. Yeah, and so that thing that was looking out at the water, the sand, playing, started to look in at who is it that wants to go in the water? Who is that? This obsession started, yes, and the discomfort just came along with it. And it was weird because there would be pictures of my family and it looked like I was pasted in. I was like disassociated completely. I don't know why. It's just really, it looked like there would be my brother, my sister, and then there would be something sticking out called Paul. And then usually I was looking suspiciously at one of my parents from the side, like this. And actually my little league manager actually came to my house and said, Mrs. Hedderman, sometimes I'll look down the bench and your son's looking at me pretty weird. I was going to be like, I had no fucking idea what was going on, really. Yes, but something was taking over the life completely. And so there was a shift from life's happening to life's happening to me. And there was a moving away from living to an interpretation of it. Yeah, it wasn't like all of a sudden, it was a slow, but it was all encompassing after a while. And I was quite uncomfortable and I wanted relief. And I ended up finding it with alcohol when I was 12. Yeah. And it was worth the consequences, no matter what they were, to get the relief at that moment. And I was willing to pay a lot of consequences for that relief. Even though it started to fail me, it was better than what was previously happening. Yes? So this thing has grown. It's of a mental activity, yeah? And non-duality puts it to rest. That's all. If you're open to it, then that's why we believe the message is best to be heard than to be the hearer of it, yeah? Because when there's the hearing of it, you'll watch that system of claiming. And you'll walk out of the satsang thinking you were the hearer of the satsang, yeah? That's not volition or choice. You didn't choose that. It's mechanical. And if you know how it runs, yeah, you won't be so surprised by it. You won't. And then after you watch it, that which you used to look from, you'll see that you're not that because you're seeing it. Yeah? You will see the little perch you used to look from. You will. You'll see it because you're before it. And there's no name or figure or form there. It's almost as if it's just a big, yeah? But it's very clear you're not that. And then you come to satsang, you read a book or whatever, and you get more understanding so you can recognize a little more of what? Of what you're not. And it's just like a lesson in the Course in Miracles. It's not demanding a rigid posture or anything like that. It's best to be done in a relaxed manner. So you're not going to war with what you see. You actually end up having a lot of, in a sense, a sense of acceptance and a certain almost compassion for it. Because it's like an insane toy that keeps going right. It just, and so it basically just keeps circling. And it has this little racetracks, which is the past and the future. It just drives, all happening now, but it just drives around. It goes in reverse. It only has 2 fucking gears, forward and reverse, future, past. Can't make any turns. It's insane. So, but if it's presented and you believe it's the driver, you're on a ride. If it's in the back seat, it's a lot different. Yeah, because when it says look out, you'll already be looking at the scenery. You'll be engaged in the panoramic event of your fucking life. Yeah. You'll be, I feel it's slavery, selfie. I do. It's slavery. It's a sentence in time. And you've been convicted. You're not getting out. It has a belief in that you've done something or that's never going to be forgiven. Yeah, you can forgive it in others, but you're never going to find forgiveness in yourself, from yourself. Never. You've committed some atrocities, and you're living them out. You've been sentenced already. There's no parole hearing in the near future. No probation. Yeah, yeah. You can't be free as it. It's free from it. Yeah? And you can't be free from it as it. You're free inherently. You are. Yeah? So, to me, I hope the satsangs point out the what you're not, because you're going to see it today. Yeah? And hopefully it will stick out like a big sore thumb. Yeah? And then what it demands or triggers using all of your, devices, intellect, this and that. Hopefully you won't get anything to further that fucking activity of that motorized thing, and you'll see everything comes from nothing. Yes? There's a surrender, and then there's surrendered. Yeah? And hopefully these ideas will become very convincing. Yeah? And those tributaries will dry up. And now all that water, yeah, with all those channels, it never gets deep. When it's pulled back, you can dive in, so to speak, yes? Yeah. So, and we can't do it, obviously, because the self is part of that which is, yeah. So, asking it to gather is ridiculous, yes? It likes to disperse, yeah? Yeah, so, yeah. Go well into the day. I'm just, I'm happy I can articulate stuff. I've been put to good use, yeah. I could articulate the hell of cocaine. I'd rather do this, much better. I think it has more of a career. So, yeah. What I see is it's not a personal thing. It's a mental activity. Yeah. I think I think we're a universal system. We're not specialized. Yeah. So try it, see what happens. Yeah. When the next thing says, "I want to get out of here," just relaxing in a way, just ask, "Who is that wants to get out of here?" It's not you. Yeah. I wish I could be more here. Who's that? It's not you. It's just a phantom talking. You're the one that gives it flesh and blood. You're the audience, really. We went to that gladiatorial place. You're the real this. The duality of this is here, in a way. You lose interest in it, you're like, yeah. Yeah. In this way, the winning is the losing. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We're supposedly gonna have the electric bikes today. I don't know. But if you have a question, anyone? Any questions about it? And there's tons of YouTubes, yeah, videos. So, and I feel like we put it out in a certain way, repetitively to the point. So because this is about sensing the forest, not being a specialist about the trees. Because being a specialist about the trees, you lose the forest. You want to see the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are what everything is expressed from. So how things appear is based on the fundamental. Yeah? What's your relationship? Or is there anything to be related with? Yeah? And then that carries through how things are noticed. Yeah. And then the presence won't be something that you arrive at. Yeah, we had what was that person? Were you back in California? Somebody, it was Kerry, about some other person with the 5 minutes, take 5 minutes. No, let's not talk about anyone. It's not the point. But the idea, there was supposedly a suggestion that you should take 5 minutes 3 times a day and rest in the presence. Yes? Sounds innocent, doesn't it? So 5 minutes 3 times a day, rest in the presence. But in the world of the head, that means 23 hours, 45 minutes a day, you're out of the presence. That's a bad equation. 15 minutes in, but that in verifies 23 hours, 45 minutes out. Not a bad deal. Yes? Because obviously, if you're thinking you're going to sit and enter the presence, you believe you're out of the presence. Yes? Don't you see that?
Yes.
As a misdirection? Don't you see how it feeds the dualistic head? Oh yeah. Sit. Hey, be quiet. I'm entering the present. I'm the only one who knows where the door is. You're just knocking on it, Matt. You're not in yet, let me tell you. Because I've seen you. From the present. I'm in the presence. Only for 5 minutes. I can really let go for that. If you tell me I am the presence, fuck that! But 5 minutes I can take. Oh, that's easy. 5 minutes. Okay. I'm leaving the presence. All right, let's see. Where was the presence? Where did it start? And where did it seems like it started when I was somewhere, and then it seems to leave when I'm somewhere. Wait a minute. Could I be the presence? Could I be the presence that's denying itself by sitting in the presence? Yes, I would say so. I would. Now, there's no problem sitting for 5 minutes, but I wouldn't say in the presence, because you're shitting in the presence, you're standing in the presence, you're walking in the presence, you're swimming in the presence. You're saying to yourself you're not in the presence, But you can't escape the presence. You know what I mean? It's insane to me. It's insane, but you see how some simple little thing can blossom into something. Yeah? You're trying to emphasize an in, which really is used to emphasize an out. And the out wins usually. 15 minutes of supposed presence to verify 23 hours and 45 minutes of being in the mental presence. The mental presence will take that deal every fucking day. Every day. It's me looking forward to it. Okay. Yeah, go in the presence, Paul. Because then I got you for 20-something hours. And you're going to be living as if you're out of the present. And of course, those 5 minutes is going to make the 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and 40 minutes. But it's going to be difficult. The other side's going to still have hours and hours on it. It's going to be a tough road to hoe, you know. I want to make it always in the presence. Well, great, you've been successful. That's the case. What? Oh, yeah, it's already so. All your pantomimes of getting in and out is in the presence. What? Yeah, it is. There's nothing other than presence. What? But I'm not noticing it. Who says that? Who says that? Is it the presence that says it's not noticing it? No, it isn't. The present is just present. Present for everything. Denial, affirmation, beliefs. It doesn't matter. It's always, it's like that sky. It allows anything to appear in it. Yet none of it leaves an effect. Yeah? So presence, could you imagine, can you entertain the possibility, even if it's conceptual, that you are the moment? so you can put to rest this idea. Because this in and out, you have to realize the desire and the incredible attractiveness of in is supporting an imagined out. That's how the head uses it. It does. I've seen it. And I've seen it in a lot of people. Yeah? So you make, all right. We lived in Australia for a while, and this person had a very nice property. Yeah, he came from a family that like owned like Byron Bay, Australia. And so he had a condo, he had a 2-story like place there, and a number of things, and we were renting it. And every day he would drive around in a golf cart around 5:15, yelling at all of us to be quiet because he was going to enter peace at 5:30. That's when he would meditate. So the preamble to peace was a lot of fucking anxiety. So he'd be driving around, no noise at 5:30. I'm going to be meditating. I said, what about no 5:30. Stop any noise. Don't you see? That's fine, but the underlying offering is always open. You're making the doors. Your head is, not you. The door, it's making all the doors. It's like they say in Zen, the gateless gate. There's no toll. Yeah, the open secret. There's no secret. Yeah. Recognize what's doing all that isn't you. You're not planning your own demise. You're not. You're not saying a fucking thing, ultimately. The power of assurance in what you are allows everything or anything to happen, because nothing, like it says in the Course, your attack thoughts are attacking your invulnerability. Yeah? Are you going to be worried? Is an attack going to worry if you are assured of invulnerability? Is an attack going to worry you if you are assured of invulnerability to attack? Exactly. That's the message. Yes? Why is everything allowed to be? Because no apparent threat in anything to what we are. There was a very tricky movie. I like the horror genre. It was by Stephen King, and it was the Storm of the Century. Yes? And it's the book is pretty good, but I watched this miniseries. And there's this creature that comes into this town in Maine, and it's a huge snowstorm, so it's disconnected from everything. They can't call out and shit like this. And this creature knows that it's superior to all the people, so it's just fucking with them because it knows none of them can do anything to it. It's just walking around, fucking here, fucking there. It allows them to jail it, and it's just sitting there. And it's just, yeah, it has an assurance that they don't have. And so it's fucking them. It's actually pretty cool, and the actor was quite good with it, yeah? He was broadcasting that. He didn't give a fuck, because he knew you could not do anything to it, yes? In a weird sense, that's what starts to grow, yeah? All the yapping, all the call to arms there's a huge armament, yes? As if the head could move mountains. It can't. It's a molehill. Yeah. When that starts weakening, and that sense of the Course that you're invulnerable, then are they attack thoughts at that point? They're just thoughts. But if there's a sense that you are vulnerable and you could be affected, then just thoughts can seem to be attack thoughts. What's giving the meaning to the thoughts? Not the thoughts. It's your feeling of vulnerability makes them attack thoughts. Don't you see it? So entertain these ideas, man. You've been given the luxury now of being sober. Take advantage of it. That's an incredible basis, because if you were and are a real alcoholic and addict, all your other practices are just ways of disguising the elephant in the room. The dominant theme is going to be addiction. You got to have clarity about that, because then a lot of times people go into other practices really trying to hide that. It won't work. So you take care of that. Yeah. Tell the truth about the elephant in the room, and then the house will have a lot of rooms you can go to. Yes? Yeah. So, yeah. So, yes, there you go for another day. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm covering for Amelia now. She's trying to figure something out. All right, so chapter 3. We're going to go line by line of the Course in Miracles, starting right now. All right? Nothing ever happened. What? But a lot of shit's happening, exactly. There's tons of shit happening, but nothing. If you weigh it all, it doesn't weigh anything. How much would an appearance weigh? Yeah. So, all right. Thanks. Hey. Hey. Thank you. Yeah. We'll be here again at either 6 or 7 or 7:30 tonight. Look.
AM or PM?